I'm gonna be honest, when the Bad Batch was first announced last year, I was hyped! I couldn't believe my taste buds. We were gonna get a prequel era show in the Clone Wars animation with clones as main characters. What more could you want from life? And for a brief moment, poverty was outlawed, climates stopped changing, and spoiling a movie was punishable by death. The world was finally at peace. So the show actually came out. If I could describe the Bad Batch in one word, it would be confusion. This show feels like it's having a bit of an identity crisis. At one moment, it's trying to be a fun adventure show with a quirky, likable gang traveling around the galaxy and learning the true meaning of family. But there's another part of the show that just wants to let loose and murder everyone and everything in its path, illustrating only through blood just how big of an impact this power shift is having on the entire galaxy. How it's breaking friendships, destroying lives, and eradicating entire cultures. But on the flip side, there's still Omega going like, "Hi guys, let's learn about basic morals and friendship. Also, did I mention Hunter's my favorite out of all of you? Hunter's way better than you, Rekka. I love Hunter. Hunter, 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 Hunter." This is like the only annoying thing she does, but it's really not that bad considering what Ahsoka was like when she was first introduced.
There's been a mix-up. The youngling isn't with me.
Stop calling me that. You're stuck with me, Sky Guy.
Can you shut the fuck up?
And before we go any further, spoilers ahead. So if you haven't watched the show, don't. It's really not that good. So the start of the show starts off with Order 66 and the early hours of the Empire's birth. All from the Bad Batch's perspective, which is something we usually don't get to see on screen. There really aren't that many perspectives of Order 66 through a clone's eyes, mainly because most of them are too busy being controlled to have any meaningful thoughts or reflection. But those rare moments we do get to see inside a clone trooper's psyche are what I personally think are some of the best moments in all of Star Wars. We've seen through Rex's perspective trying to survive Order 66 and an unknown 501st clone trooper from the better Star Wars Battlefront 2, which if you disagree with me, you're just plain wrong, recounting how clone troopers felt about carrying out Order 66. And before you run to the comments, yes, I know Battlefront 2 story mode isn't canon, but you know what? It's canon to me, so you're just gonna have to deal with it, bitch. Okay, we're a little off topic here, but what I'm trying to say is it's just chef's kiss. 10 out of 10 everything. 10 out of 10 score, 10 out of 10 writing, 10 out of 10 characters.
Hey kid, you ready for this? We move fast.
Good. That's the only way I know.
That's not a kid. That's a grown-ass man.
Okay, it's mostly really good, and I don't have too much to say about it. You know it's great, I know it's great. We can move on. After the Bad Batch escape Kamino, we get to see Cut Lawquane and his family again. And what makes this even more special is the parental wisdom Cut and Sue lend to Hunter. Since whether he likes it or not, he's a dad now.
You are the father. What the
Which he repays by getting Cut and his family off the planet before they can be captured by the Empire. The next episode consists of the Bad Batch having car trouble and Crosshair getting his own elite squad. And that's literally just their name, that they're just called the Elite Squad. It's kind of lazy in my opinion, but whatever. And there's some pretty cool moments of characterization from his squad. The original members seem like they all have different reasons for why they joined, which makes total sense because they're not clones. They all had lives before the Empire. And any reasonable person would expect to see the clone troopers arguing with the Elite Squad since the clones are now in danger of being replaced and would probably feel really pissed off about it. Well, I'm glad those were only expectations, because the second this guy dies,
He needs some milk.
all those ideas are gone forever. And the rest of the squad are reduced to Thing 1, Thing 2, and Fire Gal. But not to worry, because before you have time to process this betrayal, we're back on the run with the Bad Batch, who are currently selling Echo for money. Wait, what the fuck? What did I miss? Oh, and apparently Omega's being hunted by the lady from the Boba show, which means there's no way that they're gonna kill her. Now, I know what you might be thinking. Jacob, these are all minor issues. The show's still really good. And you're right. For the first few episodes, the show is pretty good. Until we meet Sid. After Sid is introduced, the show goes from the Bad Batch to Sid's boring ass side missions featuring Omega and the Bad Batch. All of the tension surrounding Crosshair and his manhunt just dissipates in favor of doing Sid's chores because they need to know who's after Omega and money. For the first mission, Sid's like, "Hey yo, can you go rescue this kid named Moochie?" And they're obviously like, Who's Moochie? And she's like, "Figure it out, bitch." Anyway, so they fly over to some random ass planet, and surprise, surprise, the only kid there isn't Moochie. No, it's a Rancor. Wow, what a twist. Moochie's actually the Rancor. I can't believe, you see that, guys? You see how they made an entire episode about where Jabba's pet dog came from? Seriously though, if they made Sid not tell them who Moochie was, so I would think, wow, they're all playing chess while she's playing 4D chess. Then it failed spectacularly, because I was thinking, wow, she's really playing tic-tac-toe by herself and still losing. After they complete their mission, your first thought is probably, okay, so that was weird, but we got the money and we know who the bounty hunter is, so we can go somewhere else now. No, we're gonna stay at Sid's because she has more missions. Yay! Well, at least it can't get worse than Rancor identity theft, right?
Rafa, I've got the target. Where are you?
Don't answer that.
Oh, it's Trace and Rafa. Everyone's favorite sister duo.
I dumped the spice.
Are you that mentally enslaved and intellectually subservient?
I just want it to be over. So, their new side quest is to recover a tactical droid's head because it knows all the clones' moves. But before we go, we need some of that daily Sid wisdom.
You're releasing too soon because of those weak noodle arms. Build up your strength.
Yeah, no dip, Sherlock. Obviously, they're able to retrieve the tactical droid's head, but Trace and Rafa want it too. Looks like there's no other way to settle this than to the death. Oh wait, Tech can just make a copy because it's literally just a computer. But only Trace and Rafa get the copy because rebellion! I thought the whole point of doing this was so we could have some money. Whatever, after the Boy Scouts fail their mission, the story finally decides it's time to get back on track. But first, we need another dose of Sid's daily bullshit.
Considering the debt you owe me.
What debt? Docking fees, port charges, gear, fuel, rations, and 20 cartons of Mantel mix?
Debt? Are you fucking kidding me? You only have those charges because you're doing her missions. You're really gonna let this midget lizard tell you what to do? Just kick her ass! I thought you guys were the Bad Batch, not the Jesus Squad! What you gonna do? Tell the local authorities? You already have the Empire on your ass and you're doing just fine. Sid and her Dollar Tree brand bounty hunters are not gonna make a difference. Either way, it doesn't really matter since we get to see Rex again! I said we get to see Rex again! What's the matter with you guys? Aren't you supposed to be happy? Echo, you fought alongside him for years. The least you could do was smile. Jesus Christ. Anyways, they talk and realize maybe they shouldn't keep the chips that can turn them into literal killing machines in their heads, and decide it's probably best for them to just take it out. With some minor complaints from Wrecker, the squad was able to successfully take out their chips. So, now that they've reunited with Rex and finally have a worthy cause to go back to, they join Rex and help the new rebellion fight against the evils.
Things aren't like before. Omega needs us. And I have to do what's best for my squad.
What the fuck are you doing? This is literally what you wanted! A place to stay safe from the Empire, check. Food and supplies, check. Keeping Omega safe, check! Like, you already bring her on all your bounty hunting missions, which are extremely dangerous, so you can't even be like, well, working with the rebellion is dangerous, and Hunter wants to keep Omega safe. Okay, well, I know one thing for sure, and that's Rex isn't gonna rack up some bullshit charges and force you to indentured servitude. With Rex gone, the Bad Batch were left to scrap up some remaining weapons from the shipyard to pay off their debt with Sid. But that's not gonna happen because the story's back on track and it's determined to stay that way. Crosshair intercepts their ass and they fight for a bit, which results in Crosshair getting completely clapped. But not to worry, because we have a new bounty hunter on the scene, Cad Bane. Oh yeah, baby, that's what I'm talking about.
I've taken down so many clones over the years. Once you figure out one, the rest are easy.
You're in for a surprise.
I doubt that.
Bruh, just lay down and take the L, you're done. Obviously, Bane captures Omega, and the Bad Batch barely escape Braca. And we find out that Lama Su needs Omega because she's a pure breed, and he can make all the clones he wants from her. Which sounds very weird out loud. But uh-oh, Fennec Shad is here too, and she wants Omega as well. Huh, I wonder why.
As long as she is not in the hands of Lama Su, she is safe.
Oh, it's cause Nala Se needs her cause she cares? Wait, what the fuck? I thought you didn't like clones. You even tried to kill Fives. I wouldn't really mind this if the show explained why she cared. Like, yeah, I guess it's implied that Omega was raised in her lab, but I don't think Omega was having a good time. Either way, Omega escapes and Bane is left looking like a buffoon. And oh my god, why are we going back to Sid's?
With 2 bounty hunters after you, it'd be wise to keep a low profile.
Tech's right. There's too much heat on us right now.
Today's mission is brought to you by the Queen of England. Now, they're being paid to free a separatist leader from Imperial forces, even though they literally just said
There's too much heat on us right now.
They leave Omega behind because they're like, maybe we should stop bringing a literal child into battle, which Omega is not happy about at all, and then proceeds to protest by clearing all of their debt.
Kid, Where'd you learn to do that?
Good job, Omega. I still fucking hate you. The mission was a success, as always, and Elizabeth was thrilled not to be dead. But now that our debt is cleared, we can leave now, right? Right? Wait, where are we? Is that Hera from Rebels? You know what? When I said I wanted to leave, I thought you guys were gonna come too. Either way, it really doesn't matter what I want, because it's now the Hera Syndulla show, and we're gonna jump right into the fascinating political landscape that is Ryloth. Chad Syndulla versus Virgin Burger King. Oh, I haven't seen you around, but what's your name?
Thank you, Hauser.
Oh, Hauser. Wow, that's a really cool name. Maybe we can catch him. Not now, Anfrita. I'm busy. Can you just die quietly? I'm trying to talk to Hauser. Anyways, the episode turns out to be really good. And oh my god, you guys are back. Where have you been? We're halfway into the episode. Why are you just now arriving? Wait. Where the fuck are you going? Get back here! I thought the show was about you. You can't just leave me here. And so the episode ends with small-scale terrorism from Baby Hera and the Bad Batch somehow making a cameo in their own show. Are you guys starting to see what I mean by this show is confusing? Anyways, Hera and Omega are now pen pals. So the Bad Batch bust Hera's family out of prison. Oh yeah, you're my favorite character by far. Also, I want to point out how beautiful this scene is. I love that the clones are still being treated as individuals and not all of them choose to defect from the Empire. You know, it's good to know that this show still has some good parts in it. Why are we still back at Sid's? You cleared your debts. You have money. Omega is safe. Why are we here?
This port's connected to multiple hyperspace routes, ideal for smuggling. My parlor's right in the middle of the action. Roland saw the value in it and took it, but we are taking it back.
No, you
Let me get this straight. We have 3 episodes to wrap the entire season up and set up the second season, but you still feel confident enough to waste another episode on the adventures of homelessness featuring Sid. Okay. Episode 14, War Mantle! The story is now reaching its conclusion, and it starts with Gregor escaping a clone commando outpost. Oh yeah. It's all coming together now. Unfortunately, Gregor gets recaptured, so it's up to the Bad Batch to break him out. With a bit of plot armor and a dream, they're able to free Gregor and successfully escape. Oh, is that Scorch? And he's actually kicking ass? Bro, why is this show just now getting good? They're able to escape, but Hunter gets captured in the process, which means the season finale is just rescuing Hunter. Yay! I mean, it's not like we haven't already been doing that for the entire show, but it's okay. We finally get to free Crosshair from his inhibitor chip.
It's your inhibitor chip. We can help you. Wrong. I had my chip removed a long time ago.
Okay, at first this kind of pissed me off, cause I just didn't want any more excuses to go back to Sid's in the name of safety. But after rewatching the series, to make this video, I really like this decision. I mean, I just praised the show for depicting clones having individual thoughts and feelings about what they think is right. And Crosshair's decision is no different. Sure, it doesn't really make a lot of sense, especially since the Empire tried to have him killed multiple times, but he's not wrong. We've watched the movies, and the Empire becomes the dominant force of the galaxy, for better or worse. Which is worse, it's actually just way worse. I don't even know why I said that. Which brings me to my final thoughts of the show. It's both great and awful at the same time. It feels like just when this show is picking up steam, it suddenly slams on the brakes in fear that it's getting too good. Which is honestly more frustrating than it just being mediocre all the way through. Kind of like how if you had a report card that only has B's and C's, you'll be like, they could do better, but it's fine. As opposed to a report card looking like this. How did they get a 180% in calculus? How are they taking calculus if they're in 7th grade? What the fuck is advanced eyebrow dancing? Like, yeah, they did really well in some areas, but you can't appreciate it because you're still trying to wrap your head around how they got a negative 7% in geometry during the same semester. And as much as I'd love to blame it all on Sid, believe me, I've tried. It all comes down to the main characters. Okay, the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles in space are just not cutting it. The Bad Batch was always a pretty weak team in my opinion, even when they were first introduced in the final season of Clone Wars. Their arc was, pretty meh. They're okay to see in a couple episodes here and there, but they're not strong enough to carry an entire show. Each character lacks a real personality. It's all surface level attributes. Here, I'll prove it. Tech is the smartest plank of wood I've ever seen. Wrecker is just a boulder that happens to talk. Crosshair is that edgy middle schooler who thinks everything's stupid, even though they watch My Little Pony religiously. Hunter triggers your daddy issues, and Echo is just R2-D2 as a human being. And don't tell me I'm wrong about the R2 thing, alright? Look, they both just open and access terminals for the mission. They both can pass as droids, and they're always complaining about or to a member of the group, alright? Don't fight it. You know it to be true. And aside from some character moments here and there isn't enough to save the show. However, when Omega's with the Bad Batch, they become way more interesting. But when they're alone with each other, it feels pretty stale. You know, for brothers who have gone through something like war together, they often don't feel like they really know each other. It feels too much like work colleagues instead of actual
family.
It only feels like family once Omega's introduced, and they each form a relationship with her. But it still doesn't extend to how the others talk to each other. The exception being Crosshair and Hunter. The rest just feel incredibly underdeveloped and kind of two-dimensional. But there's still good news, because every time they start to focus on character interactions, it gets way more interesting. But the show kind of sidelines these moments of growth and interaction in favor of pushing the story along, even when there's clearly no story to push. And don't get me wrong, I'm glad this show is getting a second season because I desperately need this show to be good, okay? Mark my words, if these Star Wars animated shows don't start shaping up soon, people will start calling Clone Wars' success a fluke, which is bullshit because that show is amazing, and people might start acting like Star Wars is just not meant for the animated screen, which it totally is. Animation has the power to highlight parts of Star Wars live action could never dream of fulfilling. All in all, this show isn't really horrible, but it isn't great either. And I don't really want to give a number score out since my friends keep telling me my number scores don't make any sense. So I'm gonna give The Bad Batch a can do better out of 10. Please fix this show.